r/AskReddit by Reddit. Who's the stupidest person you've ever met, and what story perfectly sums up their stupidity? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy the video. My brother and I were in the kitchen one day as teenagers. My brother was filling the sink to wash dishes. When the sink was nearly full, he went to turn the tap off, but it wouldn't budge, so the water kept flowing. I tried turning it too, but with no success. This is when the panic set in. The level of the water was rising fast, and we didn't want to flood the kitchen. He took big saucepans out of the press to fill with water to keep things from overflowing, while I was in a frantic scramble under the sink trying to find the mains to turn it off there. I couldn't find it. Now really panicking, I took over the pot filling duty and my brother went running off to look for Dad as quick as he could. Dad came running in with my brother while we were shouting at him about looking for the mains. Dad just came over to the sink and pulled the plug out of the hole, letting all the water down the drain. Haha. I've told this story before, but I like telling it because Duck Tammy. I had a boss named Tammy. One night, we were all working late doing stocktake, and we were discussing the impending lunar eclipse. Someone asked what happens during an eclipse. Tammy grandly explained that the eclipse would occur when America went in front of the moon, blocking Australia's view of it. Like she literally thought the earth stretched itself into like a U-bend or neck pillow shape, and half of it stayed in our normal orbit, and the other half stretched itself over and around to casually block the moon for the rest of the earth. I don't have enough processing power to imagine what her conception of our universe and its laws are. Had a guy in a third year undergrad developmental psych course raise his hand in a full lecture hall and ask the professor, "Prof, do infants diagnosed with SIDS get asthma later in life? Like, are they more likely to get asthma? SIDS stands for sudden infant death syndrome." He just kept pursuing the question. The prof didn't understand how she could answer it. She thought there was some kind of logic in it that she wasn't seeing. Finally, some girl took the initiative to shout across the room, "No, they are not more likely to get asthma. They are dead. They have died suddenly and will thus not be at risk of developing asthma." Great day. He always sat in front of me, and I would see him writing just absolutely horrible poetry and song lyrics. My cousin. All through public school, she was a snob who looked down on everyone. She was super stylish and struggled academically. We graduated in 2014. We both went to colleges, not the same one. She got a job at a bar, stayed out late drinking. Her boyfriend told her she didn't need to complete college, so she just stopped showing up. Didn't drop, just stopped showing up. Completely flunked out. Here comes the mega stupidity. Our families live hours away from her college at the time. Her family went to move her back home. My cousin's mom noticed a pile of clothes in the corner. The mom said back, quote, "What's that? Your laundry? Pack it and we'll wash it when we get home later." My cousin, I kid you not, "You can wash those?" Turns out, she'd been throwing away clothes instead of washing them. She claimed she didn't know she could, yet she washed her undergarments and bras without a hitch. She's now at home with her family and has started doing more chores to show an increase in responsibility. She still tries to throw clothes away, citing that she didn't know they could be washed and reused. Makes me wonder what she thought all those years before college, before she left home. She wore some of the same outfits repeatedly. She had to have known they could be washed. When she lived at home, she had a special regenerating basket. She would place her dirty clothes in there, and then after a few days they would appear clean and back in the drawer, folded nicely. The problem was, she forgot to bring the magic basket to school with her. When I was in the Navy, there was a cook on my ship. He once served rare chicken. I genuinely couldn't tell whether he was trying to cover up his limitless incompetence, or if he genuinely believed that rare poultry is a real thing. He was dumb enough to believe it. Another time, he just filled a pan with ground beef and called it meatloaf. Another time he was supposed to make sugar cookies, you know, several hundred of them for the whole crew. He didn't bother to read the label on the container he opened, and apparently he didn't taste the batter at any point, and he actually made salt cookies. He used up all the remaining salt in the pantry, and we had unseasoned food for the remaining several weeks of the mission, during which time the captain assigned someone to be the cook's bodyguard. Edits. I was not aware that chicken sashimi is a thing. Still, intentionally uncooked meat and unintentionally partially cooked meat are very different. This was the latter. You can't make salt from seawater for several reasons. 1. There are no facilities to do it on board. 2. No captain would jeopardize the success of a military mission by unnecessarily feeding the crew food of unknown cleanliness. You couldn't just assign someone else to cook. I didn't specify, but this was on a submarine. There are no spare people to reassign and cook is already the easiest, least able to cause disaster job on the ship. There was a troubled kid I went to high school with. He struggled with school, but had friends, but was starting to do drugs and go down a bad way. He decided to photocopy the front and back side of a $20 bill, cut it out of normal paper, and glue the two halves with Elmer's glue. What's even more sad is that to test his new money he went to the gas station and bought some gum and it actually worked. So in his mind it must have meant that it was foolproof. So he then tried to go and deposit the glued up money at an actual bank. He was obviously found out and arrested. I don't know where he is now, but I'm assuming he is making similar life choices. My flatmate at university did something similar. He put a whole bunch of effort into forging £10 notes, researched paper, found some spray adhesive that was just the right consistency, got hold of a very sharp craft knife and cutting board, figured out how to fake the metal strip and watermark with kitchen foil and crafty printing. He had an excellent printer. His copies were pretty good, but by no means perfect. So he and his accomplice Joe decided to keep to two simple rules. Only use them in dimly lit bars when it was too busy for staff to check every note and only ever take one copy out of the house. That way if they were caught they could claim it was an honest mistake, they got them and their change, etc. Well, at first it worked surprisingly well. They'd buy one drink with a dodgy 10, pocket the change and nip back to the flat to grab another. In fact, it worked so well that they got cocky. One day, my flatmate was out with Joe in a crowded area in broad daylight when they decided to roll a joint. Joe took a bag of weed out of his pocket and passed it over, right in front of two police officers. Of course, the officers stopped and searched them and found over £200 worth of forged notes, all with the same serial number. Oh boy, here we go. Meet my brother's girlfriend / baby mama. Here are the highlights. The first thing my brother noticed was that she never learned to read an analog clock. When my brother offered to teach her, she laughed at him and called him a pejorative word for a homosexual man. She believes that credit cards are free money and the fact that she can't get another credit card for not paying was because the Jews were mad she figured out how to get free money. She can't do math, like, at all. Single digit addition requires the use of fingers, and she still only gets the right answer about half the time. Subtraction is right out. She managed to get fired from 3 different jobs, food service / cleaning, in 4 months, because she kept forgetting to go to work, and the people who ran the place were total ducks for firing her for forgetting one thing. She and my brother both got salmonella from eating food she cooked. After some questioning, she admitted that she cooked the chicken rare because that's how the expensive places do it. She can barely read and can't write anything more than a few simple words. She has actually drawn cryptic pictures instead of leaving a note for my brother. I thought my brother was joking and referencing Charlie Keller's illiteracy from It's Always Sunny. He wasn't joking and hadn't watched the show. The illiteracy was originally discovered because she had burned or undercooked a significant number of the pre-made frozen dinners my brother started buying after the chicken incident. She couldn't figure out the instructions, so she was just guessing. She kept saying that the oven was broken in my brother's apartment. She believed she couldn't get pregnant because her mom allegedly told her that only teenage girls get periods. Since her periods didn't magically stop on the day of her 20th birthday, she believed her womb was busted like her aunt's and she couldn't get pregnant. My brother, the second stupidest person I know, believed her and said that our mother, who is a nurse practitioner of gynecology, was full of crap. Naturally, she tested pregnant after 2 months of dating. Instead of admitting my mother was right, they believed their conception was a miracle from God. After the birth, she got a DUI with her 6-month-old in the car because she didn't know that the prescription painkillers she stole from her dad were considered an intoxicating substance. Also, she didn't have a driver's license or insurance. Her dad got her the car. She took too many of those painkillers and hit 3 parked cars, then got out to fight some random pedestrian on the sidewalk for running into her. She went to jail, and her moron mom got custody of the kid. CPS removed the child after less than 2 months because the child was losing weight. After questioning, her mom said she was teaching the baby not to throw food by sending her to bed hungry. Her mom was charged. Kid placed with foster family because her dad and aunt are felons, and apparently both sets of grandparents have criminal histories too. She did 4 months in county while awaiting sentencing, but somehow she got off with time served, got custody of her kid, WTF, and only got 3 years of probation and a 6-figure fine, plus restitution for the vehicle damage, despite a felony conviction, WTF. She pretty much won the judicial ducking lottery, something called deferred adjudication. She celebrated her freedom by doing crack and failing her very first piss test with her probation officer. She claimed she didn't know crack was illegal. Crack. You know, the stuff you can't buy from a ducking CVS. The crap you have to buy from a drug dealer. Kid was placed back with the foster family. My moron brother is convinced they are still in love, and she'll be out in a few months because the judge will see her mistake. She won't. He also went to jail, again, for selling drugs at his workplace, again. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comment section below.